Hello, everybody. How are you? I am coming to you from the kitchen again. I have some time. I have been super busy, super busy. And I have to get something done today, but I'm taking like a little break so I can chat with you all. Okay. So I've been taking notes because over the past couple weeks I've seen some really interesting things and some stuff has come up. Like I had a dream the other night, y'all, that I want to tell you about. I'm not going to talk about that here, but I've never had a dream like that before, ever, ever. And it was so interesting. Okay, it was so interesting. But today, um, what I want to talk about is something that I heard on a channel and something that me and my friend were talking about yesterday. So I'm creating a cybersecurity curriculum, okay? And it's going to be, I'm calling it real life, cybersecurity in real life. So of course, uh, unlike typical classes we go to where you're taken out of the world and put somewhere so you can learn something, then put back in the world, we're not doing that over here. So in doing that, I went to look at some videos on self-defense. I've never taken a self-defense class, but this is going to be incorporated into what I'm doing. So I looked at, a few, because there's YouTube videos on techniques and all that. But I happened upon one video of a lady who was talking about what she doesn't like about those classes, okay? And how what they do is give you a false sense of security because they teach you all these techniques, you get a certificate, and you get out there in a situation that requires self-defense, and you can't do anything because the conditions in the class were not the same as when somebody has a gun in your face. Okay, you're nervous, you're scared, your heart is beating. You don't remember an 8-step process to pin someone on the ground at that point. You know what I mean? So I like what she was saying, and it's true. It's absolutely 100% true. But after I looked at that, I went ahead and viewed some of her other videos, and she talked. I think the name of her channel has something to do with trauma, something trauma. So she was talking about how she was raped when she was younger by someone in her church. Okay, and I'm sure, I don't know if I told y'all on this channel. I may have. I don't know. But which resonated with me because I was in several situations where, thank God, I wasn't penetrated, but I was definitely molested when I was younger, and was put in horrible situations, like when I was in the military and stuff like that, right? So, and I wondered, as she was talking about that, because so one thing she said, right, that had me, I was like, okay, I got to make a video about this. Because what she said was, and I know exactly what she's talking about. She said when it was over and she was driving away, she was not the same person that she was when she went in that house. Okay. She said she could almost feel herself split in two as the person she was before she went in that house, and now coming out of the house, having had that happen to her. Okay. She said, I was changed forever. And I talk a lot in work and on this channel about change and how we can choose. Like I didn't know that I could make a choice before, and you can only change what you're accountable for, right? Which is what you have control over. All right. That's the only thing you can do, which is why you can't change other people, Okay, so you can choose. All right. But what if you don't and you're forced to be somebody different? Okay. Like what does that even mean? What does that even mean? And I thought about that, even in my situation. Like a lot of us, I'm in my 40s now, many of us, if not all of us, have been through something where we were different on the other side. Whether it was a death of somebody we absolutely loved, something that happened directly to us, something we saw on TV, something. Went to the military or didn't go to the military and just lived in a terrible neighborhood and saw somebody murdered or something. You know what I mean? There's so much that happens that forces us to be different. Okay? That forces us to be different. So I was wondering what that actually meant. And how, like, what does that have to do with anything? When it comes to what I talk about on this channel and, spiritual stuff, because what I can't stand is the separation of spiritual from just everyday things, like you got to dress different when you get in the spiritual thing. You got to turn the music off. You got to sit in a certain position. Your eyes have to be closed. You know what I mean? It's like you're in a totally different space. Like you got to get out of here to be spiritual. You got to be around other people who want to be spiritual too. And I don't want to practice that, and I don't want to model that for my kids or other people, who look at me. So when it comes to the day to day, what does being forced to change have to do with anything? And what does it mean? Okay, and I've been thinking about that because we know what it means, like when we choose it. You know what I'm saying? Like when we feel we have a role in it. How much is it? Oh my God. Oh, I'm boiling some shrimp and crawfish, and I got this crab walk. This stuff is potent. I'm just gonna put a little bit in there, child. So what does it mean? Well, what I can see is, I said before, now that I see that I cannot change, now I can get busy changing, Now I can get busy changing, right? Because I see that any change I make does not change me, which sounds like a dumbass riddle or something, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And you ain't got to be a non-dualist or anything like that to know what I'm talking about. If you really just look at what I'm saying here, you know what I'm talking about. So there was another guy that I listened to on Soft White Underbelly. I listen to that channel sometimes. He was a crack addict. He wasn't sure what he was, according to what he said. He said, "I don't know what I am." He was talking about when he smoked crack and he had to do, make money having sex with men. He said that when he smoked the crack, he felt like he was one person. He felt like he was one. So he could just concentrate on doing what he was doing, because when he wasn't on crack, he didn't know what he was. Like he had no idea if he was straight, is he gay, is he a father, because he had kids, does he love this person, does he love that person, do these people love him, does he, does his mom really love, I mean, he was all over the place, and smoking crack just helped him to be one, he said, and he didn't have to worry about all those other things going on. Okay. And someone else, it wasn't soft white underbelly. I think it was another thing I was looking at, but he was talking about not wanting to change. Like he had, I don't know what he was on, heroin or something, for a very long time. You know, think about people with habits. Like if you have a habit, you know, a habit that you want to change, but you feel like you just can't, you know. He said, sometimes I feel like I don't want to change because if I don't take heroin when I wake up in the morning, if I don't take this drug every day, I don't know who I am. He was like, when I take it, I know who I am. I'm a drug addict. Okay. Like that's who I am. That's what I do. That's how people know me. That's how I navigate in this world as a drug addict. If I stop taking it, then what am I? And I'm too old to try to figure that out. You know, I don't want to change. I don't want to be different than what I am right now. And those are all valid. Like I can identify with all of that, you know. I'm sure we all can. There are ways that, because that's scary. It's really scary to have, because I asked my daughter a while back, I said, how would you feel if you found out I wasn't your mother? You know, and she was like, that would be devastating. Because that's like a foundational belief, of a foundational knowing. You know what I'm saying? It's something that has to be true because a lot of things I've done and said and decisions I've made and feelings I've had are based on that thing being true, you know? So if you take that away, now I'm embellishing, saying she didn't say all this, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about you and your parent or parents or whatever, okay? Change can be traumatic, right? It can be traumatic. And trauma isn't always negative, you know? Trauma can be positive. Change, even a positive change can be traumatic, you know? Start this dishwasher. I'm trying to fit everything in here, but I don't think it's gonna work. Um, so I think for me, I've been through a lot, like I said, and it had an impact. I went to therapy for some of it, some of the stuff, but not all of it. And I'm sure I have a touch of PTSD or something, you know. But the thing is, because I've seen something else, and I'm not, my flag isn't planted on or in a particular absolute truth. Okay, it's not. At least it's not. Oh, y'all, these seasonings. At least it's not. I mean, I have flags and stuff, but I can pull them up if I need to. Let me just say it like that. Drink you. And I do pull them up when I need to. So I think that's the thing. Whether the change is chosen or imposed upon me, really knowing and seeing and feeling and experiencing that I'm still the same. That really makes a difference. It really does. It really makes a difference, you know? And not even saying that that's true, because that shit might not be true, you know? But that's okay too. that's that's okay too. All right. Let me get this thing going. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna have to do this again. I ain't got so much seasonings around me. But I'll see y'all back here later, okay? All right, y'all have a good one.